Hey everyone, welcome to Simplilearn's YouTube channel. Today we will learn about the latest DAX and filter functionalities that are recently updated into Power BI. That said, if these are the type of videos you'd like to hit that like and subscribe buttons and the bell icon to get notified.
Craving a career upgrade? Subscribe, like, and comment below. Dive into the link in the description to fast-track your ambitions. Whether you're making a switch or aiming higher, Simplilearn has your back.
Just for a quick info, if you want to upskill yourself, master Power BI skills to land your dream job, or grow in your career, then you must explore Simplilearn's PL300, which is a Microsoft Power BI certification training that we have recently included into our arsenal of data analytics. This program enables you to solve business problems and improve operations. This course helps you master the development of dashboards from published reports, discover better insights from data, and create practical recipes for various tasks that you can do Microsoft Power BI. That's not all. You also get 30 plus hours of blended learning, industry-based projects for experimental learning, dedicated live lessons by faculty of industry experts, industry-recognized course completion certificate, and many more. After completing this certification, thousands of learners have transitioned into a data analytics role as a fresher or moved on to a higher paying job profile. If you are passionate about making your career in this field, then make sure to check out the link in the pinned comment and description box below to find more details about the PL300 Microsoft Power BI certification training. That said, let's get back to the training session for today. So, DAX is basically the data analytics expressions. And in DAX, we have a lot of DAX functions, namely aggregate, date and time, filter. So this is a filter one, financial functions, information, math, logic, and many more. So we are covering one after the other DAX functionalities in our Power BI playlist. We have already covered aggregation and date and time functions. Now we are going to start with filter functions. Now, what exactly is a filter? This is a straightforward question and you will be expecting a straightforward answer, right? You will be applying some filters or conditions based on which you will try to filter out and extract the data. Let's say we have 4 years of data, 2021, 2, 3, and 4, and you wanted to take a look at the latest data from 2023 to 2024. What you do is just apply a filter, change the dates, and apply the condition that I want the date from 2023 to 2024, and rest everything you can leave, and the data will be extracted. So as simple as that. So we're not just covering that basic filter here. So we will be covering some most frequently used and latest updated filters in Power BI, like the calculator filter. So there are types of filters for one dedicated page and all filters, and after that some lookup values, MatchBy and match functions, fuzzy match, offset, order by, partition by, range, right? So and window. So these are the newly updated filter functions, and apart from that, everything is as the same old Power BI. So a few of them are recently updated in the recent times. Now let's get back to the functions which we will be discussing today. So this is the first one, which is the filter function. Apart from that, we will take a look at the lookup value. So when it comes to lookup value, if you are someone who knows Excel, then you might be wondering, lookup is the best, maybe one of the best features to look at for a value and extract the details. So we have multiple lookup functions, which is XLOOKUP, we have VLOOKUP, we have HLOOKUP, and if you're not a big fan of lookup, we also have index match, which is also an alternative, the best alternative to lookup functions. But when it comes to Excel, it's 100% reliable. But when it comes to Power BI, of course we can say it is reliable, but as far as your data doesn't have any discrepancies. Let's say I'll give you a simple use case. So let's assume that in this use case you are dealing with school data. So roll number 1, roll number 2, and roll number 3. So roll number 1 has someone named as Jack, and roll number 2 has someone named Jackie, right? So if you are using a fuzzy match, let's say you don't want to, okay, when it comes to fuzzy match, I'll let you know what a fuzzy match does. So what fuzzy match does is, let's say JACK are the first 4 letters, JAKIE. Okay, let me open up a simple spreadsheet so that I can tell you in a much better way. So FC1, and let me also open up FC2. So here we have two different files, right? So here you can have some customers data, LS, ballot, and here we are missing a D. And in Benfetta, here we are having some case sensitivity. So the second name F is capital and here the second name F is small. So what is happening here is there is a slight discrepancy, maybe a spelling mistake, maybe a case sensitivity, right? So Power BI assumes both Benfetta and the second Benfetta are two different entities, right? In such scenarios, and in a few other situations where you are dealing with data duplications, maybe the username for a dedicated ID, username Jack for user ID 1 and user ID 2 is also having a name as Jack, right? They might be two different Jacks, right? So Jack 1 is different and Jack 2 may be different, correct? Two people can have same names. So in such scenarios, the lookup might not work properly. So in such situations, we will be using some alternate functions there. So it's like the calculate function. So we will also have a demo on that. After that, we have the MatchBy. So that's where we'll be discussing about the fuzzy match. And we have offset. So you will be having a deep understanding of offset if you are someone who deals with databases on a daily basis, and that is something new which has been covered in Power BI. And along that you have order by, partition by. So these are the few different functions we will be learning today. So that is the brief introduction of today's session. Now let's quickly switch to Power BI and try some practical demonstrations. So there you go. We are in the report view right now. Let's quickly shift to table view. So here we are dealing with 4 different tables. This is our orders table, customers table, and sales table, right? So in our previous session, we dealt with data modeling where we had multiple tables and we kind of established a connection, right? So if I want to try to establish a connection, I'll just drag and drop this matching customer IDs with the other tables and basically get the connection between them. I can model the data table, right? And if you are not a fan of doing this manually, you can also get that done from Power BI itself, from the options which is mentioned in the previous session. So so far so good. So here we will start off with lookup values. Now we have customers data, correct? So when you look at the customers data, we have kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. Customer ID, customer name, where does he or she belong to, where is the state, country, region, is it central, north, right? And this is the basic information we have. And when it comes to orders, we have order ID, customer ID, order name, order date. And when it comes to sales, this is what we have here. And shipment is about the order date and shipment mode, right? Now, what happens is you're about to present this data to your client or your manager, and he or she wants a little more detail. Let's say he doesn't know to build a chart, build a visualization. He just anything, right? So he just wanted to add one more detail to this particular table. He wants to know which product did Toby order, right? So he wanted to have the product name right in front of customer's name. So how would you do that? So it's a simple lookup function, right? Now here we have the lookup function. So let me erase that. So it's simple. You just select okay, let me also remove this from the model. Just right click and you will be getting the option of delete this from the model. Okay, let's create it from the scratch. Now I just have 6 tables. Let us assume that we wanted to add a new column here, right? So it's simple. You just select the table, right? And after you select the table, it will be basically in the home tab. Now after you select the table, you get the table tools, right? And here select the option of new column, correct? So a new column will be generated. Now you can maybe name the column. So I'll name it as product order equals to, so lookup. So it's not a VLOOKUP, it's not a HLOOKUP, it's there's no dedicated name for that. It's just named as lookup value. So I presume it's a XLOOKUP anyways. So that's how you access the lookup function. Now, what you are looking for, what are you looking for? Basically, if you're dealing with Excel, you write the lookup function, not the result, right? You actually give the address or reference of the cell where you have the value which you are looking for. But here, you are focusing on the result, what you want it to have there. So we want the product name here, right? We're not giving a cell reference where you have as a lookup value. It's not that way. What you're expecting to have in your column, we're expecting to have the product name, right? So the product name, varies product name. So the product name is inside sales table. You can see product name over here, right? So go back to your lookup function. Here you will have the name. So the table name is sales. So you have the sales and you're looking for product name. Press tab to select. There you go. Now search column. So search column is, let's say, in a sales table, you have customer ID and product name. And in customer table, you have customer ID and customer name, correct? So there is a primary key in customer table, that is customer ID. And here you can reference customer ID as a foreign key from sales table, right? So what you're going to do is, you have the product name. So you now are looking for the customer ID, right? In sales table, in customer ID column, what customer ID is there in front of a product name, correct? So, okay, let's not complicate this. Let me open the sales table. So here you have the product name, right? So now you have given the first lookup value. You have given the, okay, let me open the function. Okay, so you've given the required result. You've given the name. Now you are pointing to this customer ID, right? So you are pointing to this customer ID. So for the respective customer ID, you're trying to extract the product name. So that's the basic approach. Now, so we have given the first value. Now the second parameter is search value, that is sales customer ID. Press tab to select, and the last one, search value. So what you're looking for? So you're looking for the customer ID from the customers table. So what you have to do is customers table, customer ID, press tab to select. Now close the bracket, and if you enter, you will get an error. That was expected, as we discussed before. So the problem is, one customer ID might have purchased different products, correct? So TS21340 might have purchased some product from technical category and some product from furniture category, correct? So what lookup is thinking is, it is thinking it is a duplication of the entry. So it is understanding it in this way. So I can't extract. So basically lookup will extract one value, right? Now here what's happening is, this lookup function is trying to extract multiple values, right? So that's what it is saying. A table of multiple values was supplied where a single value was expected, correct? So there is a look around for this. Now, basically, I just wanted to help you understand how a lookup function works in this particular scenario. So to get the answer for this question, we might have to, make things a little different and to try to look around for the value. So we will use calculate function for this particular one. So calculate, and first non-blank, press select, and okay. So what we're doing is, we are implementing a calculate function. So let's say TS21340 has 3 entries. So what we are doing is, the first non-blank entry. So the first row, we are selecting that particular one from the sales product name, and we're going to filter all sales, and wherever the customer ID from customers table is equals to the customer ID from sales table, we will pick those entries, and after picking those multiple entries, we will just pick the topmost value and we will fill the product order. Just now enter, and okay, I thought we should refresh, but automatically it got refreshed and we have the names of the product being ordered. So that's how we use the lookup function in Power BI, and there is a turnaround in case if your Power BI is unable to detect the lookup value. That's what you can do. But there is another way, might be a difficult one. You might have to check your data set and make sure that each and every entry is unique. So that's not something which you can do overnight. So this is a quick workaround for your lookup formula. Now if we go back to the report stage, and page 1. Here we have filters, correct? So the basic filters, and you don't have filter by visual. There are a few more options. If you just switched back to the introduction of this course, so we had new functions, which is filter by visualization, filter by a few more operations. You can apply filter to a dedicated sheet. You can apply filter to the entire sheets. Right here you can see the option add filters to this page alone. So we have page 1 and page 2. So if you want to add a specific filter to overall all pages, you can add such filters over here. So these are the two filters that we already know and how they work. Now let's try a new filter, which is the filter by visualization. Let me try to build a donut chart and drag region into legends and sales into values, right? Now what we have here is a visualization. So whenever you try to build a visualization onto your page, you will find a new filter over here, which is named as filter on this visual, right? So what you can do is you can just drop down, and here you have specific filters that you can apply. And maybe if I want to apply filters for central region, I just add it and I get a central region filter. Now if I want to add category sales, I can also do that. And let's say if I want to dedicatedly find the sales that happened in both central and east, I can do that. So that's a new addition to Power BI. Not so great or not so outstanding out of the box, but this is how it basically works. Just an additional tool in the arsenal. And filters by page. So basically that's the filter what you are adding and want to work on this particular dedicated page. You can do that. If you want to add a filter that works for all the pages, you can do that over here, right? So this was filter by visual and a few more new filters that got additioned to the Power BI. And if we get back to page 1, page 2, and page 3, page 1, and data view. Okay, this is the data view. So far we covered calculate, lookup, filters. Now let's try to look around a few more additions. So if you go back to this particular documentation from Microsoft, so here we have MatchBy. Okay, let's discuss the fuzzy match. So here, as we discussed before, so these are the data sets. Now let me open a new Power BI window and try to load that data. There you go. Let us import the spreadsheets. So we are importing the first FZ1, fuzzy match 1. Just select the sheet and load data. So we're not transforming the data, it's really small, and it's something which we created just for a demo purpose. So there are no problems with the data set as far as I know. So there is no need for transforming, you can just directly load the data. So we have the sheet 1 right here, and sheet 2 should be shortly loaded. Yeah. So the first data set is loaded. Now let's try the second one. There you go. Now we have both the sheets. Let's quickly go to the table view so that we have the table view. There you go. Now we are trying the fuzzy match function, right? For that, we should be going back to the report view, and here we should transform the data. As you can see, the column header, the first row of the column header was supposed to be considered as, the first row of the table was supposed to be considered as the column header, but it's not. So that is something which can be fixed in transformation, right? So apart from that, let's go to the transform data that we have here. And here you have the merge queries options. So you can merge it as new, and in this particular dialog box you can use this particular option which says fuzzy match to perform the match. So what does fuzzy match does? So fuzzy match is something which gives you a threshold. Let's say if there is at least maybe some match, okay? So here we have Ben Ferner and Ben Ferner, right? So there is something which makes it different from the other. That is the capital F, right? So the case sensitivity is something which makes it different. And if you check the other ones like LS, so a D is missing at the end in the second name, right? So you can give Power BI some threshold. Maybe if you find a 90% match, you can consider it as one and the same, right? That's what this fuzzy match does and match does, right? So if you are looking for an exclusive tutorial on match function in Excel and match function in Power BI, we do have those tutorials. We will have them linked in the description box below. You can have a look. Now we have loaded the sheet 1 and this is the sheet 2. So here you can add the fuzzy match and you can also choose what type of merge you want to deal with it. I'll go with the full auto one and that's done, right? And here you have the fuzzy matching options where you can give the threshold. Maybe you can give ignore case, match by combining text bars, and you can give the threshold maybe as 90% and maximum number of matches optional and transformation table optional. Yeah, that should be good enough. And you can establish a fuzzy match. So this is the next part of the tutorial, and so far so good. Now what's left is maybe we can deal with okay, let's go with visual documentation. So far we have done with a lookup, filter, visual, and match, and so we are left out with offset, order by, partition by, and range. So let's continue with that. So let's quickly close this window and restart our Power BI with the file. So our data set is loaded and we have a simple table over here. So it will explain us about the city-wise sales or orders that we have received. Now using this particular table, we will try to ingest offset, window, and index into this particular data table. Now what exactly do you mean by index, offset, and window, right? So offset is something, okay, let's go to the official documentation and have a clearer understanding of offset. So offset is something which returns a single row that is positioned either before or after the current row within the same table. By given offset, if the current row cannot be reduced to a single row, multiple rows may be returned. So what exactly this means? So offset is something which gives you the value of the previous element present in the previous row to the current row. So let's say you tracked the value present in row number 2, which is the number of orders received in Chennai. Then you will, okay, let's consider offset works. If you're a user in SQL, then you know that it works in a different way, right? Whenever you give offset as 0, it will point to the first row, right? In our case, in our use case, we wanted to extract the values from the second row. So the offset will be 1. So what we are basically trying to do is trying to define some formula where the Power BI will understand how the offset operations will work in a data table, right? And index is something you already know. It will just index the values you have in your data set. So basically index will return a row, an absolute position specified by a position parameter within a specified partition, sorted by specified order. If the current partition can't be reduced to a single partition, multiple rows may be returned. So keeping it simple, not too complicated, index acts like the address to a specific row, right? Let's say you wanted to access the row number 3. If you provide a specific index, it's like the primary key. It's something which does not change. It's something which cannot be duplicated, right? So you provide an index and it will identify the row and pull up, right? So basically what you're trying to do here is just make Power BI understand what an offset is, what an index is, and what a partition or order by, and what exactly is a window, right? So we will now get started with defining these things, starting with index. Then we will understand the next one, which is offset. Followed by that, we will dive into the window function, where we'll also use some partitions and order by functions. Having that said, let's get started with Power BI. So there you go. Just select the table or go to table tools and let's use this drop down, and here you have the new column. And now we will get started with defining the index. So new column, it should start. Yes, there you go. So this is our index. We are trying to calculate the number of orders and we are indexing the value, and we are giving a -2, which will dedicate to the next upcoming second one, right? So here, let's say you wanted to find out the last second row, this entry, you can find it out. And in case if you wanted to find out the last but one, you can do it. And if you wanted to find out the first, then one, right? So that's how it works. And yeah, so just enter, and here you are giving the data set table name and column name, enter, and you have the index, right? Now let's go ahead with the next one, which is about the offset. Add a new column, go to column tools. So we should be creating a new column, and this is my offset. Calculate number of orders, all selected from the table and the category. So we are specifying the offset. So we want to point out to the first row, so we should be provided as 0, and enter. We will now have our offsets. There you go. There is a slight error that should be fixed shortly. Maybe some error with the data modeling or data connections. Anyways, let's continue. I think the last function is window. So there's a circular dependency identified. We should resolve that. So basically what we're trying to do is we are trying to find out the difference between the offset and the number of orders we receive. Now let's proceed and create a new measure. So a new column. So here we will be trying to create a window. So there you go. So there was a small circular dependency issue that we just fixed, and here we have the window formula. And basically what we're trying to do here is identifying the number of orders we receive and what's the difference between what's the offset and what's the window, right? It's giving the entries present in the current row. So this is how you can implement the index, offset, window, and a few other latest builder functions in Power BI like lookup and MatchBy, fuzzy match, etc. And this brings us to the end of this tutorial on filter functions in Power BI. And thanks for watching. Should you have any queries regarding any of the topics covered in this session, or if you require the resources like PPT, datasets, or any of the workbooks that we used in this session, then please feel free to let us know in the comment section below. And our team of experts will be happy to resolve all your queries at the earliest. Until next time, thank you for watching and stay tuned for more from Simplilearn.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.